La bella y graciosa moza marchóse a lavar la ropa. No, not really. Okay, we're going to have show us your projects now. Is this on anyhow?
Yeah, it's okay.
Sort of. Okay, we're going to have show us your projects now. Anybody else that has not registered with me that would like to get on the list? No. Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do is I have a list of people here that I wanted to show things, and I'm going to give them 10 minutes each, strict 10 minutes. And to speed stuff up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call one and one in advance who will be waiting over there, and then we swap, okay? Okay, so Daniel Galdames, ven, y Guillermo Polito, ahí. Daniel Galdames, your turn, your 10 minutes. 6. Tenés 10 minutos. 10 minutos, ¿ok? Y mira que me voy a fijar. Y te lo corto. Ok. Sí me gusta. Sí me gusta.
Mi batería no.
Ya me fijo.
Acá te pongo el relojito.
Tengo reloj.
Sí, pero para que lo vea la gente. ¿Cómo se puede poner para que lo vea la gente?
No sé. Igual tengo el problema del enchufe. Ah, ahí. Che, Guillermo. Ahí. Saca de ahí. Hay una zapatilla. Mahometano. Ok. Vía.
Bueno, entonces
Vamos.
sí.
10 minutos.
Él ya tiene.
Okay, hi. I'm Daniel Galdames, and I'm going to show you Phantom, a modern aspect language for Faro Smalltalk. This was my work for my engineering thesis, so here we go. It was guided by Dr. Johan Fabry. Okay, Phantom. What it stands for? It stands for Faro Aspect Language. And Tom, well, we still don't know what it stands for, so if you have any idea, you can tell us. So, it's an aspect language, so what's aspect-oriented programming? Aspect-oriented programming is a way to modularize cross-cutting concerns. So, what's a cross-cutting concern? Okay, so what cross-cutting concern? A cross-cutting concern is a concern that you can encapsulate in one module or one class, so it spreads across the code. So aspect is a way to address that problem. So what's an aspect? An aspect is a special kind of module that have a behavior, that's the advice, and have a Pointcut, that's the when. So when we have when we wanna execute that code. So the Pointcut defines when you are going to execute the advice, and defines a set of join points. So what's a join point? A join point is a step on your program execution. So we are in Smalltalk, so it's felt natural to feel that a join point is a message reception or a message send. We choose for a message reception, so when an object sends a message and you reset the message, it's a join point. Phantom is dynamic in the sense that you can change classes and methods, and the system works that you expect that work. And it's dynamic in the sense of dynamic AOP. You can activate and deactivate the aspect at runtime. It's simple. You choose to put in the language just the construct that we felt that are meaningful, and not a lot of construct that we felt not useful. And it's powerful. Everything in the language is first class. So what a Pointcut looks like. You define the receiver of the message and the selector. So you can see Pointcut receiver morph, the class morph, and the message position. You can use pattern like the aspect J patterns. That's an aspect language for Java. So morph plus means morph and all of these subclasses. You can define more than one receiver, like morph plus, morph start. That means everything that starts with morph, and system window plus, that's system window and all its subclasses. And you can use wildcards in the selectors, like add morph something and add morph something something. And you can ask the context, some information of the context when you advice is gonna be executed. Like you can ask for the receiver, the sender, arguments, and other stuff. The pointcuts are first class, so you can combine pointcuts to create new pointcuts, like pointcut 1 and pointcut 2 or pointcut 3 not, is the example above. Advice. An advice, you define the pointcut, or when the advice is going to be executed, and what to do. In that example, you want to send the message check to self. So you define what message sent to what object. And the type, you have around, that means execute the advice instead of the code that should be executed in that point. You can have before, that execute the advice before what's going to be executed, and after. Some syntactic trigger, around pointcut send check to self. You can also use blocks. That's the example, the final example. So a block is more easy to use than that syntaxis of send a message to an object. You can use intertype declarations. That's a way to add behavior and instance variable to a class. So in that case, the class is defined by a pointcut. You can add an instance variable foo and an instant method foo that return. Well, you can see it. So an aspect, in an aspect, it's a collection of advice and class modifiers. So you can add any advice you want to modularize a concept in that aspect. With aspect install, you activate that aspect at runtime, and with aspect uninstall, you can deactivate it. You can do a lot of more stuff, but I have no time to show it, so I'm going to show you a little demo. Okay. So here's the example. Okay. In this example, as you can see, we are creating a new aspect with an advice that before the execution of the method show of the transcript, you are going to show transcript show fear not. But look what happened here, because we are executing something that send show to transcript. So we are going to capture that. And when we capture that, we are going to capture again and again and again. So this looks like an infinite loop. So let's see what happened. So here's the transcript. If we test that, you see reentrancy. We're going to create the aspect, install the aspect, and we're going to try. But no infinite loop. Why? Because in Phantom, what happened in an aspect is stay in an aspect. No, what happened in an aspect is not captured by default. So you have to explicitly say that you want to capture what happened in the aspect. So the join points generated in the aspect are not captured by default. So you can do that stuff. But if you want, you can use it. We use a concept called computational membranes. That's a way to control the scope of the aspect. So you can construct a lot of cool things that you can read on the paper, but it's real funny. And I'm going to show you last thing here. You can see more information here. And we're going to show you this. In Chile, have the squeak source in Switzerland is too far away, and it's a bit slow, so painfully slow. So we create a mirror in Chile that's fast for us, but I think that is fast for Argentinians too, and it's really easy to use. If I have time to show you. It's the mirror demo. So to use it, you have to load that package. That's multi-redirect. That redirect from squeak source to the Chilean mirror. To activate the mirror, you send that message. It's really easy. And to deactivate it, you send that. You can read in the page that I showed. And it's just to retrieve things from the mirror. You cannot push things to the mirror. But I think it's very useful, and you should try it. That's. Lo acorté para.
Permiso. ¿Se puede?
Sí, adelante.
¿Da eso? No, mover la laptop. Bueno. Maximiliano Tabacman, Surrup. ¿Dónde está Maximiliano Tabacman? ¿Es Mr. Maximiliano Tabacman? ¿Por allá? Perfecto. ¿Estamos?
Ahí le pongo.
Está mirroreado.
Monitors.
No. Yo por tiempo.
No está. Ok. ¿Se cerró el eclipse? No, acá está.
Are we good?
Yes. Okay.
10 minutes.
Yes. Well, actually, what motivated this project that is called Keymapping right now is this. I use Eclipse all the time for my work, and I can't live without the shortcuts. I can't live without the Alt-Shift-R and all this stuff that is here to see the factors and open types and that stuff. So I like to use Faro, but I cannot live with using the mouse too much. So some time ago, I started looking at how the morph that exists in the image handle the shortcuts. So we can find things like this one. So in system window, that is the class that that verifies the windows we are looking at. You can see how it handles the close of the window. It's pretty hard-coded there, and when an event reaches the window and it's a command W or a command delete, it just delete the window. Okay, but then the mouse is not working good. Then we have things like this one in text editor that where we can find the whole handling of the shortcuts we are using usually when we did text. For example, duplicate. There here are a lot of shortcuts that are not working, and we don't know they are there. And there are some things that are weird that I don't want to explain right now. But actually, if you want to work with shortcuts here, no, can you hear me?
Yes, but you have to use this one too.
What? Hey?
You have to use that one too for the recording.
Okay. Well.
Gosh.
Well, so there's no uniformity in the image in the keyboard handling, and I want shortcuts and I want to edit them sometimes, just like the Eclipse let me in several cases. So what I did is to revive a project called Keymapping that was lost in a quick source from almost 4 or 3 years. And what I did is to make it work in the latest Faro. And I refactored it all, and it has nothing to do with the old Keymapping. But well, what can we do with Keymapping? For example, we can set global shortcuts, static shortcuts, I'll say them. For example, I have here some shortcuts defined. For example, one shortcut to open the transcript. The shortcut is Ctrl-Shift-T, and it just opens the transcript. And then I call it a static shortcut because it's attached to the class. When a Ctrl-Shift-T reaches an object of that class, it just executes that shortcut. For example, Ctrl-Shift-T opens the transcript. What does it do also? So we can see, for example, I hate to use the mouse. It doesn't even work. Well, not here. Not this one. Editors. Here I have plenty of the editor shortcuts written in with Keymapping. And first of all, here I am not attaching the shortcuts to the class. The shortcuts are attached to the instance, to each instance. So we can handle shortcuts per instance, and they can be configured through settings like every other shortcut that you have in the framework. For example, I have here the text editor keymaps, which are these ones, and I have the settings also. I have an integration with the settings framework of Faro, so we can go to the settings. And edit the shortcuts. For example, I can change the browse it for Command B, Command D, and go to workspace and Command B, Command D, and opens. It's just the Command B doesn't work anymore, but well, I can handle several kind of shortcuts, and it works. It's working in Faro 1.3. I didn't test it in Faro 1.4 yet, and well, that's all. I just wanted to show it because I spent a lot of time in this. Thank you. It was easy.
10 minutes.
How do you cope with different platforms? Because keyboard management is a little different.
Yes. Actually, the principal differences are between Mac and the other platforms because they have a different keyboard. In the last weeks, I developed shortcuts per platform. Esteban didn't like it, but I don't know what to say to him. I have an example here. For example, I have key maps that works only for Unix, for the Unix platform. If you see, I handle the keywords with the pragma. I load the keywords from the methods that are pragma. So annotated with the keymap pragma, yes. But for a specific platform keymaps, I said that you can send a platform symbol, and that works. What isn't working very well right now is that the different VMs sometimes send different shortcuts to the image. So I don't know how to handle sometimes that stuff. And I have some very ugly hacks to allow uniformity between the shortcuts.
3 minutes, any other question? Or do we move on? Question?
How do you deal with the conflict?
I don't deal with the conflicts. Actually, it's difficult to handle the conflicts because the morphs are composed dynamically in runtime, so you don't know if you will have a conflict until you have a specific instance and well-configured morph. I don't handle the conflicts yet, but everything that you write there is actually I build objects for each shortcut, so I have all the objects to analyze the conflicts between the morphs. It would be no problem to do that.
2 minutes? Well, a little bit less. Hurry.
Have you thought about making some guidelines for other developers to follow some patterns? For example,
Sorry? Making some?
Guidelines for other developers to follow.
No, actually, I think that the whole shortcut configuration of Faro should be redesigned because they are very old, and we cannot live with some shortcuts that are still there. It makes it very difficult to add new shortcuts, the actual configuration. Every time that when you want to add a new shortcut, you have a conflict because of the configuration that is now in the image.
Okay, 30 seconds and you're done. Are you done?
Okay, yes, I'm done.
All right, good.
Thank you.
Nicolás Batania, and your turn. Nicolás? Oshi.
Andrés, ¿me puedes avisar cuando pongas así estamos al mismo tiempo? Pero está bueno porque así la gente lo ve.
Sí, tiene ya.
Well, can you hear me? Yeah, it's okay. Well, what I'm going to show you, it's already loaded. That's the browser, in fact, in full screen. It's very different from what you normally see. It's not an academic use of Smalltalk. It's leisure, if you want, use of Smalltalk. What I want to show you is what I'm working on. It's for a role-playing game, yes. I mean, it's for a game that I have. What I have done is I have applied Smalltalk, I have modeled and reified the various objects and rules of a game, and then provided a graphic interface. And what's interesting is that this is done in C-side. I'm going to show you some of somehow the power of what C-side can do to build a web application that it's not again, it's for playing, yes, but you can use it as well for that. what I have here is it's like it's a list of characters, yes, from one party against characters from another party, yes, and what I have modeled are the different actions that can take place made by the characters, or maybe also the concept of the game, of the adventure that it's called, that what you do every time you get together and play is also reified, yes, so you can have actions that apply maybe to the adventure. For instance, when a combat starts, I have a button that signals the beginning of combat with the concept of the initiative, that the order in which the characters play is also reified. Well, you can register the events in the game, yes, by declaring different actions, which are, this is all done in Smalltalk and using Seaside. What I wanted to show you is that I realized the importance of using these concepts, and they make playing games that are found in books much easier, yes. So when you have like rounds in the adventure, they are like reified and they appear and the state is saved. This is since this uses Seaside, you can log from from different computers. Right now I'm using it like in one user, but it could, using Gems and all that, you could have like a game that goes on in different, or like an ongoing game could be logged on by different users in different parts. And well, I'll show some of the actions. I don't know, a character can attack another character, yes, and well, typical when you're making a demonstration. Let's see. The problem is that the network is not going, is on battery, and Seaside is going quite slow in that case. Let's see if I have more luck here. Yeah, well, I have an attack there. I don't know, like the different abilities of a character are also represented, yes, and what this system has provided for me is the opportunity to reduce a lot of what's called bookkeeping, yes, when you have a game that has a lot of rules and some of the rules intersect with each other and they have exceptions. What I found interesting is that Smalltalk has allowed me to present all these concepts. I only wrote them once, and even at times when I don't play for a while, what has happened is that I forgot about a rule or an exception to a rule, and I didn't understand. Maybe what happens, well, in a system that you can make for a client, maybe sometime a client is saying that there's a bug in the system, or that some concept is not right. But sometimes in the industry, what happens is that you find out that the client is like wrong. Maybe they are not, if the rules that for a program for a client are well implemented, then maybe you can help the client understand when he is using the software in the wrong way, or is not realizing that some of the rules that they specified are not what they are asking you. That's something I think, Leandro, you said about having the program helping the user. Yes. So after not playing for 4 months, then sometimes I think that the system has a bug, and I start debugging it, and I realize that I have codified a rule for something that is working right. It's that I have forgotten the rule, or no, I'm not understanding how a rule interacts with another. So this has a lot of functions. I don't know. Then if you want, you can ask me in the question. But I wanted to show you just some of the functions, and then I'll tell you something more about what Smalltalk has provided. Yes, I have all of the skills a character has. This is very useful when you have a group of players also that you want to introduce to a game. And well, it's exactly the same that you said with a client that has to learn about the use of the system, but this is applied to a game. Yeah? It's just the same. I have players who have joined my table and they have never heard about the game, and they don't have to worry about all of the rules. Maybe they learn because they are using it after some years. But here I don't have to explain all. I don't need them to understand everything from the beginning, because the system is, well, that's something that also Smalltalk is supposed, Smalltalk and programming in general, once I understand something and I can model it and represent it in the correct way, the computer is helping me do the boring stuff, yes, the bookkeeping or the checking or the maths. I don't have to worry about that. I can have fun and forget about, I mean, I do have fun programming, but it's not what I'm expecting to do when I get together with my friends to play this. Okay, so another interesting thing is that I'm showing this in Seaside because Seaside now is, well, hype and stuff, and I'm happy that I could make it with Seaside. But this system first started, this is done in Visualworks, yes, so I started with some simple windows in Visualworks. I don't know, I can, well, create new characters and stuff like that. Let me show you something, and you see what I mean. So I have, this is like the definition of a character, yes, you can then save it to disk, and then when you import it, it's what you end up using here. But also another interesting thing is that I want to convey to everyone using Smalltalk or programming about doing worrying about having the model right and separating and all the what they say about separating the view from the model. This here is a window for an adventure. This is the first thing that I made. Once I understood Seaside, I just had to make web views for the same domain objects. I know it's really interesting how that went, and I recommend that everyone has. I mean, it's a good success story if you want. Well, I don't know how much time I have left. 2 minutes. Oh. Well, maybe I can show you I don't know what would be interesting for people to see, but I mean, I have the adventure separated the model from the view. That's the first thing that I did. But then when I started with Seaside, I have like the adventure web views, and they have, I mean, you can, what I want to convey is that you can use Seaside and Smalltalk to work in more than just your job or to research or to do, I don't know, interesting academic or working stuff, but it can also be used to play. Yes, if you can make your games more enjoyable by using Smalltalk. By you can use I mean the use of Smalltalk to prepare the game, and then you can concentrate on gaming when you have the chance. I don't know. Well, that's it.
Ezequiel, la Mónica. ¿Por qué no me dejas que corra el tiempo? Bueno. Queda. Haga lo que quiera, amigo. ¿Quiere divertirse con el relojito? Adelante. Ponete el micrófono.
Hello, good evening. Okay. For a start, I will motivate what I am about to present with a question that is, how many of you have dealt with repeat code? Sometimes. Sometime. Okay. Code repeat in your source, okay? And how much of that code was infrastructure code, okay? I mean things like logging or composing objects together so the application can start working, okay? Maybe repeated implementations like the state pattern, okay? Things that doesn't belong to the domain of the application you are developing. Anyone? Okay. And how many of you have copy-pasted that repeated code sometime? Oh, gotcha. So many of you raise your hands now. Okay. Well, this thing that I'm bringing to you today is a way to getting away with that repeated code. Okay. It's based on the paper by Chef McCaffrey that's named Coda, okay, meta-level programming with Coda. What Coda proposed is a framework to work at the meta-level. That means it is a framework that whose application domain is the object's behavior, okay? You can think of it as an alternate domain of the domain of the application you are developing, okay? Like it is an alternate domain, like it may be, I don't know, persistence or logging or of all of the, probably the cross-cutting concerns, okay? So what Coda proposed is the following, okay? Basically, it breaks the message sending flow, okay, into finer grained objects, okay? Each one deals with a part of the message sent, okay? So you have one object dealing with the send of the message, okay? This is not the send as we know it, okay? It is only an object that deals with the fact that one object, that is A here, is sending a message to B, okay? That is A's part of the message sent, okay? Its counterpart is the accept object or meta object, okay, that belongs to B, okay? So basically, what sends will do will be, hey, I is going to send you, is trying to send you a message, okay? Would you accept it or not, okay? Basically, the idea here is those two guys are negotiating the message, and only if they agree, they both agree, the message will be sent, okay? Then this meta object will forward the request to the queue, okay? This is a queue to the message to be processed for B. As we know it, if you're not dealing with things that are asynchronous, this will just forward the message to the execution engine and process it like we know, okay? Protocol deals with the mapping from a message to a compiled method, okay, in the case of Smalltalk. And receive, basically what it does is gives you the next message to be processed, okay? That is the basic idea of the framework. I will show you right now, and I will talk about some implementation details that I have issues that I have to deal with, okay? So warning, I warn you, you're about to have a flashback, okay? This is Squeak 2.7, okay? So what I've done is to give each meta-level object, okay? Give them an entity that is reify them, okay? I define a meta-level that holds all these guys for each of the objects. You can access an object's meta-level by the following syntax, so you get familiar with that. Okay? So you can ask for a send meta component or a set, and you get the idea, okay?
Can you make it bigger?
That's quite a challenge. Okay. So how does Coda helps with dealing with repeat code? Here I'm simulating a machine, okay, and another image, because I had to touch the virtual machine to achieve some things, okay? Basically, what I have to do in the virtual machine is hook up before a message is sent, and hook up just when a message ends, okay? This is something like method wrappers, okay? With the difference that we are catching a message sent, okay? So that doesn't mean that the compiled method for that message exists, okay? Here we have the basic syntax, okay, for Coda. We are creating a new dummy object, okay? We are enabling Coda for this object because we don't want to hook up on all the message sends of the image, okay? And then we'll make it print something, okay? Some stuff. And here, part of the first demo is we are disabling Coda, and we will make it print the same output again. Okay, here is the detailed log of what Coda is doing, okay? First, this guy is sending a message to the transcript screen that is shown with that string. Then the message gets processed, okay? Then it writes a CR, okay? Then, let's wait until it stops and so I can show you better. Basically, you're getting a log before each message is executed, okay? That is what Coda is doing. After the log, the message is executed, okay? Here is a line return, and here we have the output of the addition that this method is doing, okay? So this is real useless, okay? This is just to point out how you can intercept message with Coda, but now we are going to look at some funnier examples. Okay. Here is what the method was doing, okay? For each line, except for those, okay, we are intercepting the message, and in this case we're only logging, but we are going to do some fun stuff, okay? So, for example, I know that none of you really use the singleton pattern, okay? But we are about to make a simple class behave as singleton, okay? Here's the code. We are initializing Coda, okay? Here, we're going to print some instance. Each instance gets a different number, okay? We are making this class behaves as singleton, and we're going to do the same exercise again. This time, the number should be the same, okay? Here it goes, okay? Here is Coda active, and here is disabled, okay? Basically, what we're doing is intercepting the new message, okay, and caching and sole instance of the class, okay? Another thing you can do is make an object behave as paranoid, okay? This one will raise a halt or a message each time another send it a message, okay? This can be useful for logging, or, I mean, those are not the production working samples, but the important here is the concept and what you can do in all the stages of message interception, okay? And for the last example, okay, let me execute just one line more. More interesting one, here we have a class that is an account, okay, with a deposit method, okay. Exists another class that is the account contract, okay, that validates the precondition of the deposit. That means the amount to be deposited shouldn't be negative, okay. And what code I will do is each time the deposit method is called, it will find the implementation of the contract and it will run the precondition validation for that method. Okay? So this is the end. Thank you.
Anybody else that I have not called? Okay. By the way, regarding the shuttle that will go towards downtown, there are still a few spots available. So if you're interested in going downtown, you need to talk to Jorge Silva over there, who will raise his hands and jump so he's visible.
Stop.
Basha.
Well, this project is about software content management, object-oriented software content management. Nowadays, this program is in Java or C#, .NET, and other languages. It's a real problem because when somebody wants to version code and work in a large team, a problem every day is to merge in changes and to have an actual version that works okay, works fine, because in every language except Smalltalk or an object-oriented pure language, we can't version methods or variables or something like this. We only version text. So we want to do is to create an object-oriented software content management. So the first problems that we have to resolve is to generate or create a model for a project, for a product, and for everything that we can change. For example, classes, methods, variables, modules, everything that can change. And we want to have every version that somebody works with it. For example, I have working in this project, and another person or another another person works with my changes, with my versions, and I want to share my changes with him. So I put on the repository my code, my methods, and my classes, and everything, and he can check for any version for every time, a month ago, a year ago, or a minute ago, and can download and merge in automatically every change that I made. So to do this, we should reify the concept of refactor. So this is a difficult problem because we deal with every change in several classes and several items or several components of my project. For example, rename an instant variable affects to a class that I rename, I do it, and every class that subclassifies this class. And well, a problem like a rename, it's a difficult problem to solve, for example, in another SCM, like, I don't know, tortoise or visual surface or another kind of SCM, because it generates a conflict. Because, for example, I modify, I do a rename in Java or in .NET, another boy do nothing in this class, or modify a method in the class that I rename, and it generates a conflict, and it's no sense because another boy didn't do anything to generate that conflict. So I want to merge it automatically. We don't care about if a rename, that I simply think that's a rename. Well, when we focus in an object-oriented or reify this kind of refactor, we can do it automatically because we have an object that reify this kind of refactor, and we apply them to every item of every class that it's affect, and automatically that I don't care about it. Well, first of all, I want to show you some objects that we have done. First of all, well, we have a general model, and we have an authentication and registration system, well, time system, users, passwords, and his respective test. We work with TDD, so we have several unit tests. We have here the change model. For example, we reify the concept of change. The current version changes when a first version is added, or when a new version added, or when you remove an object or a variable, or add a new object. Well, it's test versions, a smalltalk model, because we want to do this project. We want to apply for Java and for other languages. We want to do it in Smalltalk for the server side or server repository, and the client side for Faro, and we want to in the future create a Java plugin and well, version objects in Java. Is the idea. I don't know when we can do it. Well, in the Smalltalk model, we have reified the concept of class, methods, modules, products, protocols, traits, variables, well, everything. Well, the client image is the image for, well, the client. Well, it's handled every event that you do when you work. For example, yes, if you create a class, Faro, the version of Faro, this Faro version, have a system chain notifier. It's an object that handles any events for create, modification, or rename or remove any object. So we have handled these events in the client side image, and well, we can send this modification or this creation or this event to the server. So anything that you make in a class or in a method, it's sending to the server and keeps a synchronization between a client and a centralization or a central repository in any time. Well, you can work with any version of a class or a method of a product, and you can roll back to other version or check or browse for all of the version. Well.
Those who haven't registered for the social event tomorrow, this is the last chance to do that. So if you want to go, please make sure you register now.